quartzite from Yuma, and we're having some work done on our solar system here at Solar Bills. So we're going to have some plug-ins added so I can plug in a 200 watt suitcase, because I've learned that I need 200 watt solar for every lithium battery, and I've got 3 lithium batteries with only 200 watt panels on the roof. Well, right now I got the seat up in the seat position all the way forward so they can get in the back there into the battery box to do what they have to do. And I figured out that if I have it this way when I'm traveling, the dogs can still sleep on the couch like Sara, and I can put the bag with the hard solar panels behind here and still have plenty of room. So yeah, I went in and measured it all, and I think that might just solve my solar problem, to get enough solar power finally in the batteries constantly to where I don't have to start up my generator just to have coffee in the morning. It was getting pathetic, but I don't use that much power anyway. But still, down here when the sun is so low and getting lower still, it's just not enough sunlight to energize all 3 lithium batteries. So like I said, I'm learning quite a bit on this trip, and I always said that this would be a life experience, a life-changing trip down here, and what I have planned still for when it starts getting hot again in the spring. So this is a real test of what it's like being a nomad, and I think once I work out all the bugs during this trip and make the changes that I need to make, I think the next trip will be so much nicer. I'll have all the things learned that I am learning now. So, and the girls will be more at home. I'll just have the whole darn thing thought out better from experience. So, well, Kate's out there keeping watch over the homestead. I'm having 2 polarity plugs put in on the side of my RV that go right to the battery bank inside. Down here, the rule of thumb is it takes 200 watts of solar per 1 lithium battery, and I had enough solar power only for 1 lithium battery. So I'm having 2 polarity plugs put in just to plan for the future, and I'm going to be buying 1 solar panel briefcase outfit to plug in to this 1 polarity plug and see how that works. But always thinking towards the future. Oh, well, it's evening. We're in La Posta West or North, one of the LTVAs here outside of a quartzite. I got the polarized plugs put in, 2, hooked up to the battery. Everything's done right, done well. And I bought myself a Rich brand 200 watt suitcase solar setup. Bugger is built like a tank. It's heavy. It's kind of large. I was thinking of those flimsy things I see everybody with around here, real cheapo stuff. And for what I've gone through during the past several years of RV'ing all over the country, up in the mountains, the ghost towns, and out here in the desert and elsewhere, I wanted something that I wouldn't feel I wasted my money on, that would go haywire or bust, break, blow away, and then I'd be right back in the hole I started with before I got it. So yeah, maybe I overbuild sometimes, but I build for the future. That's the difference. And these solar panels were highly rated from what I could learn doing some research. And the people I bumped into down here when I pointed out that's what I was choosing had nothing but great things to say about it, how sturdy they were, how reliable they were, and that's what I wanted. I wanted some panels that could stand sandstorms, dust storms down here, 50-mile-an-hour winds, hailstorms, thunder, lightning, whatever nature could throw at it and not just crumble and blow away. So anyway, I got them, brought them out here, took them out of the shipping box, took them out of the product box, put those in the big bins they have out here at the LTVAs, and now I just have it inside here. I'm figuring out ways I can secure it in the RV here when we're underway traveling. I got some ideas, and I'll be working on those. But yeah, the more people I talk to down here, they all say that the rule of thumb for a lithium battery is 200 watts solar per lithium battery. And I've got 3 lithium batteries and only 200 watts for all 3. So during the summer, when we have long days, lots of sun, it works great. It keeps up, does great. But down here, when the days are much shorter by several hours and the sun is much lower on the horizon, even the 200-watt solar panels tilted just can't keep up with a normal workload of lights and say the radio or maybe the TV if I get reception, or watching the DVD, just normal light use, and just taking it easy, can't keep up with it. So it'll be interesting to see when we get to our next stop and we set up for a while how much difference an extra 200 watts compared to the 200 watts on the roof make in keeping a reasonably high level of power in my 3 batteries. So that'll be interesting. And I did put the 2 polarizing plugs in the side. So I got one for this 200 watt suitcase, and I could always plug another 200 watt suitcase of a different brand and use those 4. Then I'd have the 400 watts that I need. It'd be 2 4, it'd be 600 watts that I would need for 3 lithium batteries, according to all the old timers down here and the snowbirds that have the experience that I don't. So it's nice to have them. I think although they were expensive, they are going to be really nice to have. And like I said, I'm also trying to figure out, I really haven't done much research yet, but find out what kind of swing away contraption I can put into my trailer hitch on the end of this thing, where I can get one of those large, I call them steel or metal cargo boxes that I can put a lot of stuff in. And I'm still trying to figure out how I could add an e-bike rack to that. And then also, I'd like to store this big thing on an outside rack strapped down rather than carry it in here if possible. But we'll see. We'll wait, find out how these things work out. But I'm learning a lot on this trip. And I knew in the beginning this would be a life-changing trip and an educational trip. I will come to the end of this trip next summer a lot more experienced and a lot smarter about nomad living in such a very compact, tight RV with two 45, 50-pound dogs. So we're about ready to hit the sack. I gotta take the girls out, let them relieve themselves one last time so we all sleep through the night. And then tomorrow we're gonna dump our garbage, dump the tanks, and head south again. I'm not comfortable up here in Quartzsite. It's in the past month it's really gotten busy, but you ain't seen nothing yet until mid-January when the big top opens. But anyway, we're gonna head south. There's places down there I'd rather be than up here in Quartzsite, and test out this new solar panel setup I've got, in addition to tilting my roof panels, and see just what the old power buttons on the gauges I have say. Right now, from everything I've learned recently, I believe that because I have 3 lithium batteries and only 200 watts of solar power, it just can't keep the 3 powered up enough. 1, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all works out, and hopefully 400 watts will be enough to keep the battery level, the power level in all 3 lithium batteries to a good point. But I won't find that out until later when I set this all up for a couple weeks and keep track of the readings. So, like the girls and I always say, we wish you happy trails and woof woof. Well, I thought I'd put this little epilogue in before I actually posted this to my channel. That 200 watt briefcase solar panel system was not only built like a tank, it weighed as much as a tank. And I tell you, hustling that monstrosity in and out of this little bitty narrow van, I soon found out that it just ain't working. Plus, the one time I did set it up, or try to, I found out that I didn't have the additional plugs I had to plug into the thing. It was not made to plug into the polarizing caps I have out back that have to have the alligator clips cut off and special plugs put on. There's so much shit I don't know about this stuff. So I bit the bullet, returned it, paid a restocking fee, and learned my lesson. Sometimes you learn your lessons the hard way, whether it's physical or financial. Luckily, this wasn't a huge financial hurt compared to the overall price. So what you hear right now is the generator's going. I have my solar panels tilted, and they're getting almost 200 watts, 165, 170, depending on the time of day. I'm going to play with those more and use my generator. I'm not going to mess with this system until I get back home and have the original person who put it in, company, troubleshoot it, and by that time I'll have done a lot more research as to what I truly need. But like I said, this snowbird trip, first one I've ever gone on for several months, is turning out to be a real learning lesson. I'm taking notes about my screw-ups, about what I don't need, what I could have waited for. It's just it's a growing experience, really. So I thought I'd slip in this little epilogue before I put it on my channel, just so I don't have to explain myself later. But I got rid of that thing. That monstrosity was as big as my kitchen area, my kitchen table and everything in here. It was huge, and it weighed a ton. And I got tired of pushing it forward and backwards and putting it underneath the couch here, covering it up with blankets and the suitcase. It was just I thought I'd figured it out. Well, I figured it out, it could fit in here, but I didn't figure on how hard it'd be to maneuver that thing in and out of this little narrow aisleway in my RV. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some more research into smaller solar panel suitcases, because the setup I've had added, I could plug in several in parallel to add up to the 600 watts of solar, or whatever I need. And they'll be smaller, easier to pack, and the next time I take a trip like this, I'm going to have some kind of a cargo container in the back where I can stow all of these things and still have room in here to breathe and move. Because as tight as a submarine was, the little one I was on compared to the Los Angeles class, yeah, living space is at a premium in these little compact, already made RVB class. So, that being said, we're moving forward. I hope you guys like the other videos to come. Just remember that I did return that tank of a briefcase 200 watt solar panel back, and I'm not messing with that anymore on this whole trip. So okay, so I don't make this whole thing too long, I'll just get back to the credits. Okay?